What is up, awesome people, and welcome back to another mystery gift video. In this video, we're going to be covering the 20th anniversary Pokemon for November, and that is Genesect. So this one is available until the 24th, but I do believe you have until something like January 31st or February, something like that, to actually redeem your code. So again, similar to the Volcano one, if you saw that, or any of the previous code ones, they are region exclusive, so you do get a US code, you only work on US games. If they're a Japanese code, it'll only work on Japanese games. And same with anything from like Australia or Europe, I do believe they only work on PAL games. And of course, your actual cartridge will tell you what type of region your game actually is for those who are confused. So if you bought it in US, it's going to be obviously a US game. If you bought it in Europe, it's a PAL game. If you bought it in Japanese, it's a Japanese game, etc, etc. Anyways, let's have a look at the Genesect we're going to be redeeming. It comes at level 100, it's got the ability download, which means if it swaps into, now I gotta remember because I don't use download all that much, I think if it swaps into a Pokemon with high defense, it'll raise its special attack. If it swaps into a Pokemon with high special defense, it'll raise its attack instead. Do not quote me on that one, it's just going from the top of my head there, because as I said, haven't really used download Pokemon an awful lot, so I haven't really bothered to learn what it actually does. Anyways, the moves it comes with is Techno Blast, which changes its type depending on what drive you're holding. So there's like a Blaze drive, a Frost drive, and an Electric drive. So obviously Fire, Ice, and Electric are the three drives that Genesect can hold. Solar Beam and Signal Beam. Now, Solar Beam, I think, is normally taught to it through TM, but again, Genesect is really known for like its really unique moves. It can learn Fly, which I didn't know it could learn until I saw someone use it in a Wi-Fi battle. But yeah, the Genesect can really throw off a lot of interesting moves, but I will apologize up ahead because I don't have a lot of experience using Genesect, and I only really use 3 different sets with Genesect, so these are going to be quite standardized, boring sets for Genesect, but you can branch out quite a bit with Genesect if you know what you're doing and have a bit of experience using it in Ubers, because underneath Smogon rules, this is an Uber Pokemon, and underneath the doubles, if you're playing with ranked or something, Genesect is not allowed, but you can run with it through Battle Spot Free Battle if you want to. Highly don't suggest it because it won't make you look like a good person, but if you want to roll that way, you can roll that way. Alright, so like all code Pokemon, there will be a code that you have to scratch off on the back, so we're going to do that, and then we'll head over to my Omega Ruby, which is my Australian game, and we'll go redeem the code via mystery gift. So like always, you go through received gift. I don't want to do it through local wireless, my bad, and go get with code, and I'll do a little skip here because typing in the code is always so tedious. But yeah, I'll join with you guys after I put the code in. Alright, so once you've typed in the code correctly, you'll go through, search for a gift, and just to reiterate once again on the codes, they are one-time use only, so once you've typed in a code, it will not work again. So there we go, there is the mythical Pokemon Genesect. To celebrate 20 years of Pokemon, you have received Genesect, which can change the type of its Techno Blast using drives, which originally distributed to Pokemon Black 2 and Pokemon White 2. Received this gift? Yes, please. Now I'm going to go straight up ahead and say the one that was received from Black 2 and White 2 came with some really interesting moves. It came with Extreme Speed and it came with Blaze Kick, and it also came with Shift Gear as well, which are 5th gen exclusive moves. So unfortunately, Genesect had a bit of a downgrade with this mystery gift due to that. Blaze Kick is very handy to have. It can counter a lot of other Steel type Pokemon, especially if they've got Magnet Pull, so Magnet Zone can be used quite a bit, I think, in Ubers, or used to, and when Genesect was OU for a little bit. I have no idea why Genesect went OU for a bit in Smogon tiers, but that was a thing. Extreme Speed obviously makes up, if you go for like a Choice Band Max Health one, you could do that. Shift Gear raised its attack and speed, made it quite an awesome Pokemon to run as well, but unfortunately when you take that out of the equation, you do have a bit of a limited move pool for the physical Genesect. Can still pull one off, but as I said, it's going to be quite limited. So anyways, let's jump into Pokemon Omega Ruby, jump to the Battle Resort, and let's see what I can pull using my very limited knowledge on Genesect. I'm just going to say that once again, I do apologize for the very limited knowledge I have on Genesect. Not personally a Pokemon I like using, but anyways, we just got the Volcanion, which obviously, since I'm recording this straight after getting the Volcanion, I've not had a chance to soft reset for the Volcanion yet. Alright, so let's have a look at the Genesect. It does not come with an item, so that's kind of not fun, but you can go talk to a guy at Moreville City. I think he's in the hotel. If you show him the Genesect, he will actually give you the drives to use for the Genesect. So there is everything for the Genesect. It looks like I got a hasty nature, I do believe. Raising speed, lowering defense. Yes, there's hasty nature. There is a classic ribbon as well. So the moves it comes with, I'll just quickly go through that. So Techno Blast, 120 base power, accuracy of 100. The user fires a beam of light as targets, the move type depending on the drive that you use or hold. So as I said, you have to go pick them up yourself. Named Bomb is similar to like Aerial Ace and Shockwave. It cannot miss. Base power of 60 is a physical type move. Can be quite handy if you're going to do Genesect on like free battle or something. If someone wants to do the double team spam, Magnet Bomb will just bypass that quite easily. Solar Beam, we all know what Solar Beam does. 2-turn attack, 120 base power, 100 accuracy, grass type move, special attack. And of course, Signal Beam, the user attacks with a sinister beam. This may cause confusion for the target. 75 base power, it's a special attack with 100 accuracy. So the moves that Genesect comes with. And I did get Hasty Nature, which is kind of cool. Normally, I wouldn't be using Genesect anyways for like a wall. I do have one set for a wally type. It's quite handy because it can bypass Toxic and everything, considering it's a Steel type Pokemon, but with a 4x weakness to fire, anything like Lava Plume from a Primal Groudon. Actually, Primal Groudon is one of the biggest threats to Genesect, since Genesect can't do anything to it at all. But anyways, I've got Special Attack, Special Defense, and Speed. That can work, because I did get Hasty Nature. You can try and mix it in with like some attacks. It does learn Explosion, so you could go mixed if you want to Suicidal on it. Make it a fast, sweepy special attacker, but I didn't get like anything in special attack. I mean, it could still work, as I said. You can run Life Orb or something, make it timid, or hasty in my case, and then throw some special attack moves on there. It learns it quite plethora. Can't speak English tonight, which that's definitely normal. It can run all type of special moves, so that works in quite well. I mean, heck, I could even keep that. I really could keep that. That's a really good set. Hasty. I just have to watch out for physical-based moves. But I didn't get HP. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep that, even though I've only got one chance to go for a decent Genesect. So I won't say, just in case after I do this video I'm like, no, I'm going to do another soft reset. But anyways, that kind of cuts down a bit of time, which is awesome. Alright, so let's go through the 3 sets that I have for Genesect. My last set, unfortunately, as I said, it's a bit of a gimmick because I don't really know how well a defensive Genesect works. Personally, I have not used one myself, but I'm going to go with what I personally know. And that's the Choice Band and the Choice Specs Genesect, which obviously you can fiddle around with, make it a Life Orb set. You can fiddle around with it just a little bit to try and work in with it for your team. So anyways, let's go with the Choice Band set, which as I said can go Life Orb as well if you want to run that way. I've got obviously Max Attack and Max Speed with Jolly. Choice Band is his item. Iron Head Explosion. And then we have U-Turn and Shadow Claw. So since I'm running max speed on it with Jolly and 252 EVs in speed, U-Turn is quite nice for a bit of momentum on your team. In the Uber tier, there is a lot of Psychic type Pokemon, so like Mewtwo, the Deoxys, Lugia. Mew's not Uber. I was going to say Mew, but that's not Uber. There is a lot of Psychic types. It's a bit of an oversaturated type in the Uber tier. But anyways, U-Turn there, bit of stab as well. Explosion just for the lols. If you got Genesect quite down low on health, you just want to sack it, do a lot of damage, you can do that. Choice Band on top of that as well makes it a really nice move as well. Iron Head for stab. If you can outspeed a lot of the slower Pokemon, you can go for the flinch as well. And you got Shadow Claw there again for like a lot of the Psychic type Pokemon, and for Giratina as well, because Giratina is a bit of a pain in the bum when it comes to trying to counter it with a Genesect. Just watch out for the Will-O-Wisp from a Giratina, because you're not going to like that at all. Obviously, as I said, watch out for Primal Groudon. There isn't really much that Genesect can do against that at all, because one, Lava Plume will OHKO it, Fire Punch will OHKO it. There's a lot of things that will OHKO it, considering that it is 4 times weak to it, and there, as I said, not much you can do to it. It can go quite bulky, the Groudon as well, so there's no way you're going to OHKO it, that's for sure. Heck, even Explosion won't even do probably that much to it if it's like a defensive wall. So definitely watch out for your Primal Groudons there. So I'll move on to the special attacking Genesect. And obviously, as I'm throwing it out again, they may sound pretty boring, but I've got no experience with Genesect at all. So these are just pretty simple and standard sets for you to throw in with Genesect. Anyways, let's go on to the special set. Again, you can run this with Life Orb. You probably work this in with other items as well, but Life Orb and Choice Specs tend to be the two good items to run on special sets. Anyways, got Flash Cannon there for stab, Ice Beam for a lot of the Dragon type Pokemon in there, so like Zeppin, Reshiram, any of the Flying type Pokemon like Lugia. Again, Lugia will take that pretty well, considering it's most of the time people run multi-scale on it. Otherwise, it'll still tank it pretty well. Anyways, moving on there, we've got Dark Pulse, again for a lot of the Psychic type Pokemon, and again, Ice Beam and Dark Pulse for like Giratina. Hoping for the Freeze Hacks on Ice Beam, never gonna happen. You can change Ice Beam up for Blizzard as well if you want a bit of extra power, and the last move is being Thunderbolt for anyone who's a Flying type Pokemon, or is Kyogre for example. That will hit Kyogre pretty hard, it'll hit Primal Kyogre as well. Again, not really much you can do to a Primal Groudon on this particular set as well. Another thing you can run on the Genesect as well as Flamethrower, or if you want to take off Choice Specs and you want to put on one of the drives, you can throw on Technoblast as well and hit for 120 power, and hit for like a Fire type move, an Ice type move, or Electric type move. So that is another thing you can do. And finally, again, this is a bit more of a, I don't know if this is going to work, but you can probably use it if you want to muck around with it and have a few Genesects on the side. So this one is a tanky set. You can run special defensive or defensive depending on how you want to play it. Both work quite fine since both of them are the same base stat. I went for a special defensive one on this one. Again, if it hit by a Fire type move, it's going to OHKO Genesect regardless what you run. So anyways, I've put in the hindering nature into speed because obviously on a tank you don't really need to be that quick. Download should make up for its power as well, so if you want to run physical type moves on this tank, you can, because hopefully if you swap it into a special defensive Pokemon, you can get an attack boost on it, help it out quite a bit. Anyways, I've got Charge Beam to raise its special attack up. Tri Attack, you can run on it because it does have 20% chance to burn, para, or freeze. So that's kind of trying to work into trying hacks the other opponent. Just watch out for Giratina because Giratina will tank those two moves quite well, even with a +6. Obviously, you can't really do much to a Giratina with Charge Beam. It'll love Tri Attack because obviously it doesn't work. You can throw in Technoblast as well, but you have to take off leftovers on it for a drive, so you can probably change it to something like the Frost Drive or the Freeze Drive, whatever it's called, and use an Ice type move instead. And the last two moves are Rest and Sleep Talk. So Rest to heal it back up, and Sleep Talk to try and use Charge Beam or Tri Attack. The other thing I was trying to work into it was something like Toxic and Infestation, which is another two moves you can run on Genesect. You can go Toxic, Infestation, lock the opponent Pokemon in, let the Toxic rack up a little bit. But again, it might be a little bit risky to run in Ubers. Any other format, it definitely would work. Be quite annoying since, as I said, you can't Toxic Genesect. Just gotta make sure the opponent doesn't have a Fire type move. I just gotta put that in there because big 4x weakness. Other than that, there's nothing really glaring at Genesect. And there's probably a few other things you can run with Genesect, but as I said, I'm not experienced enough with Genesect to kind of give those opinions. Maybe if you ask me in a year's time when I've actually used Genesect, but other than that, they're the 3 sets that I can suggest on Genesect. Anyways, guys, that is it. At the moment, there is no other mystery gift events going on until Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out, when we get, obviously, the Munchlax when we open up the game. And we'll be covering that in the actual walkthrough itself for Pokemon Sun and Moon. But until then, I have no idea what other mystery gift Pokemon we'll be getting until Meloetta in December. So keep an eye out for that. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I do apologize again for the lackluster knowledge on both Volcanion and Genesect. Kind of not my strong points there. As I said, don't use a lot of legendaries, don't use a lot of mythical Pokemon. Not really my style. They were when I first started playing Pokemon, though, so if you asked me back then, I probably would have had a lot more knowledge. But anyways, I'm dribbling on. Until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao!